Interviewing Greg Eadie, coach of Connor Wallace, and you're probably one of the longest serving boxers at Fortitude because you started here when you were how old?
So I reckon I walked into the door when I was 8 years old. So
And that
8,
was
9 years old. And
which
so that's
gym?
Fortitude PCYC. So
Yeah.
back when we started back at the Fortitude PCYC, Mum brought me in, and I was a young bloke full of energy, sort of looking for some direction, and Fortitude PCYC was the direction I was heading. It was amazing. I walked in there, I remember Steve being the head coach there, and Teddy Collins was there as well, and we had the likes of world rated and Australian champions like Colin Nelson, Shane Knox, Gary Wills, Joey Amato, Jason Ross. There was all these other pro fighters, amateur fighters there, and I would say I would have been by far the youngest walking into that door. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
And you absolutely loved it straight off?
Loved it straight away. Steve took me under his arm. Not only did he take me under his arm, a couple of years later he took my mum under his arm as well. So therefore he'd become my dad. So
Right.
the only father I've ever known is Steve Della.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what was your amateur career? How'd you start off in that?
I started off, probably when I was 9 or 10, maybe 10 years old, and my first 3 fights were against Jared Fletcher's brother, Glenn Fletcher.
Right.
And Glenn Fletcher was an amazing amateur, and boxed the ears off me for the first 3 fights we ever had, and the only 3 fights we ever had. But that was my introduction to boxing. And then later on, I got my own back with another Fletcher, which is Rob Fletcher, Jared's other brother. Mate, boxing to me was everything. For everyone here at Fortitude, boxing's fitness and friendship, and but for me, it was my family. So I lost my father when I was 5, and then I was fortunate enough to have Steve come into my life, and he's been the only father figure and role model that I've had throughout my whole life, really. Yeah, so it's been great.
So your amateur career with Fortitude, what were the highlights of that?
I did some things with that. We went away and fought overseas, but for me, like, the highlights were our road trips. Were the memories that I made with now my 3 closest and best mates, who were all in my groom's party: Paul Miller, Jared Fletcher, and Lightning Luke Meldon. We're all Fortitude fighters, and we are as close as you could ever become. And memories of Steve, taking us to Ballina, to Orange in New South Wales, to Goondiwindi, and all around northern Queensland, Gladstone and stuff. And the road trips that Steve would take us on were so much fun. And there was a group of amateur kids that Steve had no affiliation with at the time, and with me closer because him and my mum were together. But he would give up. There's no one now in this day and age that gives up that much time for children that aren't their own. And he would give every weekend up, and we would hire cars. It'd be so different to what it is now. And we'd get Kevin Miller's car, and we'd all jump in it and go for a drive. And some of the things that we did, like I was so amazed by the skylight, and I said, I'm going to stick my head up while we cruise along the highway at 100 k's an hour. He goes, right, bud, put your head up like this, and straight up, bang, head's gone back to the back of the thing. I get down, and he's laughing, and everyone's laughing, and then if anyone's ever driven with Steve, he can drive for 2 hours and he starts falling asleep. So I would literally be in the front, or someone be in the front, and he'd start nodding, and we'd poke him. And he'd go, I'm all right, and he'd keep driving. There was trips like that everywhere, and now more than ever, like, we used to go away, and we would camp at the fight venues and sleep outside, because we wouldn't book accommodation, because basically no one's paying for all of us to sleep in accommodation. And we'd put swag out and sleep down by the creek, or where one time we slept down by the creek and the sleeping bag caught on fire in the middle of the night. Another time we were sleeping outside the fight venue, and in the middle of the night the sprinklers had gone off. And then we've all just got up and jumped in the car and the night before we fight, or slept in the car. There's so many fun memories of that, and that's what boxing for me.
And you're not travelling in a luxury. You guys are travelling old-fashioned style.
That's how we did it. Yeah, like we didn't go to hotels or do that. We might stay in a hotel now and then, but most of the time we just camped out.
But there's more fun in that.
Yeah, that's the memories that I have as an amateur boxer.
So your amateur career actually took you to some pretty high highlights, though.
Yeah, so we went
your Commonwealth
Games, and then we went to Kazakhstan, and we travelled all through Europe, which was great. And I did that with Jared and Paul Miller, and my best.
But
mates.
it's camping in a swag in Kundalini that actually has.
Yeah, that's taken my memory. Yeah, it's amazing.
Isn't that interesting?
It's great, great fun.
And your pro career? What's your
career
memories
was short-lived. You know, I turned pro and had a few fights, and I was lucky enough to get a state title and an Australian title, and then I just was my direction was elsewhere. I wanted to make some money. I wanted to get ahead. I wanted to have kids, and I had a wife, and then we had some kids, and it just sort of grew from there. I just sort of had to sort of make money and get ahead and buy a house, and at the moment I probably didn't back myself enough, and it was just the environment I was in, and I don't regret it for a day. Like I enjoy what I do.
But you did retire undefeated.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, that was short-lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're here all the time now. You're Conor Wallace's main coach.
I am. It's now like I went away, did my work, came back. I'm back into the gym now, and I'm lucky enough to train the number 2 in the world, Conor Wallace, and hopefully some big things are ahead for us, and and I'm just enjoying now trying to teach what Steve's taught me, and show Conor what I've learnt from Fortitude in the gym, and teach him what so he can get better, I guess.
Yeah. And any sort of 40 years of Fortitude, any sort of...
40 years. I can't actually thank Steve, my dad, enough for keeping this place together, and with the help of Luke now, and also other people around like yourself and other people helping now. There's a lot, like it's big business now, and like they're doing well, and Luke and Steve have kept that same environment and feeling together where everyone sort of feels like a family here. And
it is still a community gym.
It's a great gym. Yeah.
We still get people coming in here from the government projects we run and stuff, and they go, they get very confused. They think they forget it is a private business. It's a.
It's done an amazing job. Like Steve himself and Luke, they're great. But as far as Steve goes, I couldn't have had a bigger influence in my life than have a great man like that take me under his wing, which is not easy to do when you're not biological, and then treat me as one of his own, which I am his, and love me the way he has, and in return I love him too. So it's amazing.
Any last words for Steve?
Mate, you're an amazing man. I love you. I love you as much as anyone can love anything, and thank you for all your help throughout my career, and for Fortitude as well.
Awesome.